Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome back after your second sessional exam. How was it? Today we will actually try to explore the various sources of financing that are available to entrepreneurs or that are available for businesses, right? So we'll start by understanding various types of capital that a small business could require. Then we'll move on and try to differentiate between equity capital and the money that is raised through debt capital. Then we will try to explore various sources of equity capital and try to do their critique, uski positive and negatives को understand करने की कोशिश करेंगे, and it would be followed by a discussion of various sources of debt with their respective advantages and disadvantages. Despite the fact that you may have a very fascinating idea, but unless you have got necessary resources, and of those resources finance represents a very important resource, unless you are in possession of those resources you cannot roll out your ideas, despite how juicy it is or how attractive that idea is. For that, raising capital is important. You need money to roll out your business. And right at the start, you need seed money. Just like plants, for plants you need seed. So at the initial level, the capital that is required, we call it seed money. And it's not just the seed money. Even if the business is running a bit, and if you wish to expand, even in that case, you may need additional capital that you have to raise through various resources. But the challenge is that these days, the credit is hard to get. The money is not that easily or sufficiently available in the market. And for your bite rather, you have to fight. But before you start fighting, you need to first have the understanding of what choices you have in order to finance your business. The secrets to successful financing. First thing, choosing the right sources of capital is a decision that will influence a company for lifetime. If you remember right at the start of our course, I mentioned one of the reasons for which business tend to fail, and that was poor financial management, lack of understandings of financials. Let's say if somebody is to start a business and he takes lots and lots of debt for which he has to pay back interest payments, it is not necessary that on the very first day he may be able to generate lots and lots of sales to compensate for those expenses that he is already committed, right? So an entrepreneur must understand the advantages and disadvantages of various sources and deliberately and after deep consideration decide that what sources of finance he opts for. If he takes a wrong decision, it may cost him dearly. The money is out there. The key is knowing where to look. You need to have understanding of which of the finance supplier would be interested in the ventures like yours. Not everybody would be interested in investing every business venture. So you need to map out that who would be the closest people who would be more interested in giving you their cash. Creativity counts. Entrepreneurs have to be as creative in their searches for capital as they are in developing their business ideas. And they could do it by tempting or demonstrating their products or business models to the prospect financiers. Fifth, the World Wide Web puts entrepreneurs at fingertips vast resources of information that can lead to financing. It's not just your local market. There are international forums in which you can give clues about what you want to do, and you may be able to get international financing for that. Be thoroughly prepared before approaching lenders and investors. Remember that case study that we did of Dick Bardo? Yeah, where he was presenting the technical details of his inventions, right? While the investors were more interested in knowing on what is the return that they would expect by investing their money in his project. And that's the major issue that the investors find, that the jargons and the terms that they wish to listen from the entrepreneurs, usually entrepreneurs on the other hand tend to glorify what they have achieved instead of explaining what investors are interested in listening to, right? So one needs to be thoroughly prepared. And entrepreneurs should not underestimate the importance of making sure that chemistry among themselves and their companies and their funding sources is a good one. It's not just about getting cash. If that person is not passionate about your ideas, he may not be able to work with you in the long run. He may be interested in pulling out if he sees that there is no vital output, let's say in coming 6 months. On the other hand, if you find someone who is also passionate about the business idea, so he may be little more tolerant and little more flexible in his financing terms. And even at the start, if some agreements are made, and let's say that person has an interest in that particular area, he may be able to renegotiate them or come up with rather flexible terms. Layered financing, G. Layering is basically a process of piecing together capital from multiple resources. And what could be the various resources, multiple resources? Any guess? First, your own pocket, right? Family, friends. What else, Ji? Banks. You can take loans from them. One way could be car leasing. If you could get, that would be one way of getting financing, not directly in the financial terms. The entrepreneurs must cast a wide net to capture financing that they need to launch a business. Rather than just focusing on your immediate periphery, while looking for finances, you need to have a good look on the whole market. And you may be able to come up with options that are much better than just relying on your immediate family and friends. So there are basically 3 types of capital. First one is fixed capital, that is used to purchase the permanent or fixed assets of business, for example, buildings, lands, equipment, and others. Working capital, on the other hand, would be used to support small companies' normal short-term operations, the daily operations. For example, buying inventory, paying bills, wages, salaries, and other. And the third one is your growth financing, that is required to help small business expand or change its primary direction. So even if you had capital at the initial stage through which you did fixed investments as well as the operational investments, if you want to expand, you may not necessarily be left with enough to go for your expansion. In that case, you will be looking for financing for growth of your business. Now, one of the major types of capital is equity, or rather source of capital is equity financing. It represents the personal investments of owner or owners in the business. This is something that you pull out and invest in money. And it is also called the risk capital because the investor who assume the risk of losing their money if the business fails. So it is just the amount of cash or the investment that you are going to make yourself out of your pocket, right? And if the business fails, you are basically risking all of the money that you're going to invest. That would be your personal equity. And it does not have to be repaid with interest like loan. जो पैसे आप अपनी जेब से निकालते हैं, even if you're not being paid back that on the regular interval, you can simply ignore that because you know that over a period of time the business will expand, it will ultimately pay you back. But in case of debt that you borrow from somebody, you will have to pay the monthly or whatever decided term is interest payment, in which you will be partly giving the interest as well as part of capital as well. And it means that entrepreneur must give up some ownership in company to outside investor. Now this is an important point. One part of equity is what you pulled out of your pocket and invested in business. And let's say if you are looking for some investor who rather than lending you a loan gives you equity and he wants to become a partner, in that case, as we had discussed in partnership deed as well, according to his contribution and matching with yours, and depending upon what percentages are decided, the control of business may be shifted. On the other hand, you've got another choice, and that is your debt. The main differentiating feature of debt is that it is to be repaid with interest. Unless you are lucky enough to get Qarze Hasana, if somebody lends you without any interest, and yes, there are organizations who are actually helping and facilitating individuals to get on their feet economically, and they're it's a common jumla there in the United States. You basically, when you go for your university degree, you basically study to pay back the loans that you have incurred for the rest of your life. It is carried as liability on company's balance sheet, and it can be just difficult to secure as equity financing, even though sources of debt financing are more numerous. You can find many institutions who would be interested in lending you money, but dealing with them, it is not that simple. Let's try to understand this notion. You must have heard that higher the risk, higher the reward, or higher the return. So let's assume if he is a lender and I'm somebody looking for a loan, and Shayan asks me, Keji, what collateral can you offer me? What is the guarantee that I will get my loan back? And if I say, okay, I do not have any collateral to give to you, so in that case he could charge me a higher interest rate as compared to a scenario where I am ready to pledge, let's say, my car or my land against the value of the loan. When I pledge some asset, इसका मतलब क्या है कि his risk is basically squared off. And usually what banks do is that if the collateral that you have submitted is of let's say a value of 1 million, 10 lakh का है, against that they will only give you around $500,000 or 600,000 rupee value of loan. So even if in your worst case scenario, in which you will be losing your land anyway, what you had pledged, the bank will again not be at any loss, because they would first recover their amount and the residual amount would be given back to you, right? Loans can be expensive, especially for small companies, because of the risk return trade-off. So there are various sources of equity financing. It's not debt financing we are talking about, equity financing here now. Personal savings, friends and family members, angels, partners, corporations, venture capital companies, and public stock sale. The first place an entrepreneur needs to look for cash is his own pockets, his own savings. And it is the most common source of equity capital for starting a business. Even if you go for loan, even if you go for inviting some partners, they would first ask you कि यार business तो बाद में करते हैं, बात करते हैं. Tell me कि what have you invested in the business? If you are lacking those financial stakes in your own business, people are not going to take you seriously. So if you have got your own money invested, people will look at your proposals differently and with little more seriousness. Outside investors and lenders expect entrepreneurs to put some of their own capital into the business before investing theirs. Friends and family. After emptying their own pockets, entrepreneurs should turn to those most likely to invest in business, including their friends and family. And there is a word of caution. Dealing with friends and family could be hazardous. Because these are people who trust you. और अगर आपका business bust होता है, तो it would not be just your business. It would be your entire social, immediate periphery that you will be losing. It's a common आपको stories मिलेंगी where people have lost their brothers, उनका faith खत्म हो गया जी, मैं तुम्हें नहीं मिलूंगा सारी ज़िंदगी, तुम मुझे नहीं मिलोगे, इस हद तक मामलात हो जाते हैं. Right? So, inherent dangers lurk in family and friends, business deals, especially, particularly in the case when they flop. So what could be done to ensure that our friends and family remain our friends and family? Firstly, consider the impact of investment on everybody involved. Keep the arrangement strictly business. And how do we do that? By drafting the contract detailing the responsibilities and the benefits that are to be drawn with that business arrangement. Settle the details upfront. Never accept more than investor can afford to lose. Do not ask anybody to put all of cash or all of his life savings into your business, which could go flop. Create a written contract, develop a payment schedule that suits both the parties, and have an exit plan. If he wishes to withdraw, what could be done? Angels are the private investors who invest in emerging entrepreneurial companies. And by the way, it is the fastest growing segment of small business, capital market, an excellent source of patient money. Patient money क्या होता है जी? It's not बीमार money. Patient money is actually the term जिससे आप ये समझने कि the people who are giving you that capital, they are patient कि even if it takes longer, they will wait for the returns. And these angels, they are business geeks. The moment you present your ideas, they will analyze your business like you have not done yourself. They will do an extremely vivid quality critique of your business model, and if they find it justifiable, then they will offer you their cash against a certain percentage in your business. The main challenge then that entrepreneur is faced with is that how much equity or how much share is he able to or ready to give up, 51% or 49%. Now these are some US statistics. A typical angel would invest in money at seed or startup stages accept 10% of the proposals presented to him. So if you are well prepared, you have got 1 in 10 chances that you may get funding from any angel. Make an average of 2 investments every 3 years. Has invested an average of $80,000 in 3.5 businesses. 90% are satisfied with their investments. And reason, they do a very careful critique before they invest their money. How do we find them? Networking. Look nearby in the radius around you, 50 miles, 100 miles. And yes, there are online clusters as well and local clusters as well. Particularly, you find these people around the business incubation centers. Then you can have partners who may be able to bring in capital, expertise. We had discussed this thoroughly in partnership, complementary skills, and they come in 2 models, general partners and sleeping partners, whereby the general partners will have the unlimited liability and the sleeping one will have limited liability. Now this is a major and a serious source of capital, that is your corporate venture capital. 20% of all venture capital investments come from corporations, big companies. And there are 300 large firms, and capital infusions are just one benefit. The best part is that by having these entities investing in your business, you will have access to their expertise in marketing and technicalities. Since they have been investing in so many companies before investing in yours, they already know so many businesses. They already have a very strong network which they can utilize for you. And this is something that even if you have got lots of capital for yourself, but if you do not have these marketing networks and technical expertise, आपका business शायद इतना grow ना करे. I'll rather show you a video, Shark Tank देखा आप में से किसी ने? No. We'll see this in the class. Okay ji, there are private for profit organization, and business plans are subjected to an extremely rigorous review, and only less than 1%, opposite to 10% in case of angels, are accepted. So what do they look for? Firstly, competent management. Being able to generate an idea is one thing, but having capacity to manage that is altogether a different set of expertise. And that is something that they would be mapping. That if you are that guy, or if you have that team who can actually roll out that business idea. Secondly, what is your competitive edge over all the rivals that are already available or playing in the market? Why would the customer be interested in buying your products and dealing with your business rather than the existing competitors? They would also like to see that how much growth potential the industry in which that you are going to operate carries. If it is a high growth industry, so they would be more likely to invest as compared to dealing in an industry that is already on a decline. And not all the entrepreneurs see themselves whitening their hair following the same idea. At times, people simply start businesses, and the moment they feel that it is now healthy enough to be sold for a good profit, they tend to sell businesses. Now that is one exit strategy in which you simply sell off the whole business. The other strategy could be that the investor could sell off his stake at a much higher price as compared to what he has invested. So they would like to be in know that what kind of exit strategies are possible if they invest their money with you. And yeah, and they would also like to see the intangible factors that are not to be seen physically, yet it would be the motivation and the spirit with which the company is working. Going public जी limited company हम लोगों ने discuss की थी. So if you want lots and lots of capital, this is your option. Initial public offering, when a company raises capital by selling shares of its stock to public for the first time. What are the requirements for initial public offering? Firstly, you need to show consistent high growth, strong record of earnings, 3 to 5 years of audited financial statement, solid position in, again, which industry? A rapidly growing industry. Sound management team with experience and a strong board of directors. So you're able to raise large amount of capital. It also helps you improve your image, contributes to your brand. It also improves your access to future financing. First IPO, if you need more cash, you can roll out more shares and ultimately increase or get more capital. You can retain your key employees. You can use stock for acquisitions. Let's say if you are running your business and you see there is another business that you want to take over and it can complement your business well. So rather than again looking into your pockets that if you can buy that business or not, you can simply ask people to invest in your shares and you can raise further capital in order to acquire the new venture. And you also get to have your listing on the stock exchange. These are the bits that I guess we have already covered. The founder's ownership is diluted the moment you roll out the shares. The control is diminished. The privacy is lost because you tend to report to the Securities and Exchange Commission, and that you have to do because of the law. It's not a matter of choice. And you have to tell what expenses are being incurred. And shareholders, even if you are holding one share of that company, you get an invitation to the annual general meeting. And there you have the right to ask the CEO and board of directors and other people कि उन्होंने क्या गलत किया है और वो ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हैं. This is the right of every shareholder. Sorry? They apparently do. And there is a pressure for short-term performance. Now these sources were of equity capital. Now we'll go for the loan bit, that was the debt. The first source of debt capital is your commercial banks, MCB, Bank Al Falah, Habib Bank. So you've got two kinds of loans. The one is short-term loans and the other one is intermediate and long-term loans. If the loan that you are pursuing is for under 1 year, it would be declared as a short-term loan, right? One is simply commercial loan whereby you pledge your one property or one asset, it could be the machinery, and against that you get a certain amount of that you agree to pay back. Line of credit is important. Line of credit क्या होती है? Let's say if there is a trader of wheat, जिसको पता है कि in next coming 3 months, I have to purchase lots and lots of wheat. But he is not sure that on which date he has to buy how much of the quantity. So what he does is that he goes to bank and agrees upon on a line of credit, whereby banks tell him that, yeah, this is your upper limit. We are going to lend you amount of maximum this amount. Let's say 10 crore. Lekin best part is of the line of credit is that he does not have to pay the interest for 10 crore upfront. It is not mandatory for him to utilize the whole 100 million. So he will only be incurring the interest cost for that amount that is actually utilized. The main traders, they get these kind of line of credit. So they do not invest their own money, rather they rely upon the banks. And what happens is that in 2 or 3 months, they can pay back once they start selling the same commodity. Then you have got intermediate and long-term loans, and you get them, Ji.
So why would they even, if they're not going to use the entire amount, why would they even?
Probability is there that they might use it, but rather than coming and going and forth, so they would be busy in doing the documentation. Loan ki documentation is not easy.
So paperwork se responsibility.
Exactly. So आप क्या कहते हैं कि let's say if I've got a property of, let's say, 1 crore rupiah, right? You have to utilize this line of credit in coming 6 months or coming 1 year. Right, Ji, why are applications for business loans usually rejected? Firstly, it's quite possible that when you approach a bank for loan, they would say, our bank does not make small business loans. Right at the start of the discussion today, I mentioned that you have to map out that who could be the most suitable lender or the equity contributor. So there are banks that specialize in small and medium enterprises, and there are banks that are focusing on the corporate clientele. So if you are falling in SME category, you need to figure out that which of the banks are actually running campaigns to lend money to small and medium enterprises. These days you have got this campaign running by HPL, or is it JS Bank? Right, so they are basically luring in the small and medium enterprise. Now if you go to them asking for loans, so they will be more considerable as compared to those banks that are actually not focusing on SME sector. Secondly, Ji, I do not know enough about you or your business. Why would they be interested in lending you? And how do we cater that? We develop an extensive business plan that details that how this whole operation is going to run and how we expect that business to raise profit and earn profit. The bank manager may tell you that you haven't told me why you need the money. Your business plan must explain how much money you need and how you plan to utilize it. Let's say if I say कि I need 3 million, 30 lakh रुपया चाहिए, so I need to have this breakdown कि इसमें से what bit of amount I'm going to use in buying what, or buying inventory, paying bills or paying salaries. I need to have a good grip on that figure. Your numbers don't support your loan requests. So how do we cater that? We develop financial forecast, at least for coming 3 years. That in first year we expect this much of sales, against that we expect these kind of expenses, and we expect this much of profit to be earned. And next year, depending upon the economic situation that we are anticipating, we try to inflate the figures. But the moment you increase your sales amount, accordingly, your expenses will also get little higher. And ultimately, it may result in a little more reflection on the higher profit as well. Now this is important. You don't have enough collateral. कोलेट्रल होता क्या जी? Collateral would be the asset that you are ready to pledge against your loan, right? So if we do not have enough collateral, so what I can do is, apart from the company's assets, I can pledge my personal assets as well, against which I can get more loan. Your business does not support the loan on its own. In that case, be prepared, provide personal guarantee. And if you remember, during the last tenure of the government, PMLN की थी, where they started this scheme for loans, and वो guarantee based loans थे. You did not need collateral for that. Only if two person would write down that we are responsible in case if this chap goes bankrupt, just based on those two guarantees, the banks were ready to roll out cash for your business. So you've got commercial banks, asset-based lenders, vendor financing, and equipment suppliers. Now this is interesting. Equipment suppliers, how can they be the source of debt capital?
You buy the equipment
On credit? Yeah. If I'm opening a restaurant and I need a machinery of, let's say, worth 1.5 million, so I can tell that guy, here I can pay you like 400,000 or 500,000 advance, and later I'm going to pay the rest of the residual amount in 1 year or 2 years. And this is something that they might be interested in looking into, because for them making the sales is important. So would be the case with trade capital, that you get the goods or your raw material on credit.
आप किसको को लेते हो कोई इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिवाइस को वो भी
That is one way of doing it. That is one way of doing it. Let's say businesses prefer to get car leased. Usually you will find businesses, rather than spending or buying cars on cash, they prefer to go for lease. Why?
ट्रांसपोर्ट करते हैं अगर उनका जो बिजनेस जिन्होंने ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के लिए
Here, first of all, they retain maximum amount of cash. Instead of paying, let's say, 1.5 million, they give the bank only 400,000 or 500,000 rupees. उसके against monthly installments देना शुरू कर देते हैं. Those monthly installments appear as an expense that actually show the profit in a reduced number, जिसके ऊपर आपको टैक्स कम देना पड़ता है. And add the insurance bit as well. I told you you are getting the homeopathic treatment of business. समझ आ गई जी? Commercial banks, asset-based lenders, vendor financing, and equipment suppliers. And that would conclude our today's discussion.